You know, sometimes in life we go along and we think, man, if that man just would walk in my shoes, he'd understand where I'm at, you know. He could understand what I'm going through. If he could just come over here and walk where I'm going, and maybe he wouldn't be so critical of me, and maybe he'd have a little bit of compassion on me. We as Christians need to walk in the other person's shoes. And sometimes I think we really struggle with that. You know, we see a little 15-year-old girl and her belly swelled out to here, and the boyfriend's done left, and then we think bad things, you know. We think things we shouldn't think. We have no compassion, but if we could move over here, David, and fit her old big feet and them little bitty shoes right there, and walk a while and see that, yeah, man, she made a mistake, and now she's faced with some junk. She's already faced the idea, am I going to have an abortion? She's already went through that, and she said, no, I'm not doing that. And now she's walking and she's facing, how am I going to raise this baby? How am I going to pay for the milk? How am I going to do this? How about all the ridicule that I've had every day? If we could get over there and walk in her shoes, we could have some compassion. And we could have some understanding. And I'm sure everybody in here has went by the Walmart or Lowe's, and there'll be some guy there, and some of them's got an old dog, and some of them just standing there with an old ragged coat on, and they've got a sign up that says, we'll work for food. And we think, man, what a bum. Just trying to get my money. But what if we move over there and get in them shoes a minute? What if we put them old holy tennis shoes that he's wearing on, David, and maybe they smell, maybe they stink. And maybe he's lost his job, and maybe he's trying and he can't get a job, and instead of being so critical, maybe we need to have some compassion and reach out and say, brother, can I give you a helping hand? But we're so judgmental. And how about that man that he's just went to his mailbox and he's took the letter in, and it's from the bank, and they're foreclosing on the house. He's lost his job. He don't know what to do. What is he going to do? He's got 3 kids and a wife and nowhere to go. If we could get over there and get in that pair of shoes, we'd look at things differently. And how about that guy that things just ain't going right at home, and his wife comes in and she says, I don't love you no more. I want a divorce. And he's down and he's out. And the next day he sees her out with her new boyfriend, and if we could walk in his shoes, we could understand some things. And how about that businessman that's been married for 35 years, and man, he's got this real cute little secretary, and he's running around, and there's the wife left out. If we could just get over there in her shoes and have some compassion for some people, we would see that things are different. And sometimes we get so caught up in our own little world, our own self-importance, our own thing that's going on. And we might go to the mall, and they might be one of them old farts. You know, them that's sitting there on the bench, and they're drooling. And they're sitting there, and they can't get their eyes off their feet. They're so down and out. And we might think, well, I don't want to be associated with that. He might drool on me. My God, if we get over there in them shoes and walk in them shoes for a while, maybe we would look at things differently. And we see some kid going down the street so full of anger, and we want to say, man, they need to put him in reform school before he hurts somebody. maybe if we could get over there, Miriam, we wouldn't be having these bombings that we have. We might not have these crimes that we have. We may not have, pow! Can't take it no more. If we could get in somebody's shoes and have some compassion, have some understanding. We as Christians need to get a hold of the do unto others. Right. I'm afraid we put that out of the book, tore that page out. I don't want to read that, man. It makes me feel bad. Bothers my conscience. I don't want to read it no more. But maybe we need to get a hold of that. Fred, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's where we need to be. It's 5 days before Christmas. It was 1943. There was a young man piloting a B-17 over Germany. This was his first mission. His name's Charles Brown. One of the engines has been shot out. Smoke's coming out of another one. The navigator's already come and told him that the tail gunner's dead. Half the crew is wounded. There's blood all over the floor of the airplane. There's big holes where the German anti-aircraft has hit the airplane and you can see inside it. And he's flying so low because he can't get enough altitude to get over anything. He's got to fly low. The plane is barely flying. He's heading home. He's going to try to get home, David. The odds are that he won't make it. As luck would have it, he flies over a remote German airfield. And down there in that airfield there's an airplane. It's a German fighter. And there's a pilot, a German pilot, standing beside that airplane. And this German pilot is so full of bitterness, David. His brother's just been killed. The enemy's killed him. All his friends has been killed. As luck would have it, this is Franz Stigler, one of the most decorated German pilots. He needs one more kill to get the highest award in all Germany. One more kill. He revs that airplane up, that fighter, and he takes off after that B-17. That one more kill is going to happen. As he closes in, he gets his hand on the trigger. He's coming up behind that B-17. And he stops. He can't understand why the B-17 ain't shooting at him. He can't. He noses his plane up closer, and he looks in where the tail gunner sits. There's blood everywhere, David. That poor tail gunner's blood is frozen into icicles and it's running down. And he eases the plane on up and he looks inside that hole where the anti-aircraft has destroyed it. And he sees the crew trying to give medical attention to those that are shot up. There's only 2 people on that airplane that ain't shot up. And that's the pilot and the co-pilot. Old Charlie Brown. First mission. Just an old farm boy from West Virginia. That German pilot pulls up right beside. He looks over at him. And they turn and look and their eyes get wide with horror. They know they're going to die. They know that at any second, that fighter's going to peel off, come back around and blow them out of the sky. It's war. That's what he's commanded to do. That's what he's expected to do. That German pilot looks at them 2 British pilot, American pilot and a British co-pilot, and he salutes them. They don't know what's going on. He peels off, comes back around on the other side of the plane, and all of a sudden he's back over there beside of them again. And they're going over the German anti-aircraft. And he's flying right beside that B-17. And as long as they see that German aircraft, they're not going to to shoot that B-17. That B-17 gets over close to the English Channel. And they're thinking, we don't know why he's doing this. Maybe he's just going to give us some hope and blow us out of the sky. He pulls up beside of them again and smiles and salutes them and goes into the wild blue yonder, David. And Charlie Brown ain't got time to think about, wonder why he done that. He just said, oh my God, I got to get this plane landed. He gets it landed, becomes a businessman, and retires in Florida. And he's always wondering, why did that German fighter pilot do that? He flew us escort that we wouldn't be blown out of the sky. Why did he do that? Well, he got to bothering him so much, David, that he put letters out everywhere, tried to get information. And the German, they had an newsletter that come out from ex-German pilots, and he put it in there. And he got a phone call from this guy, Franz Stigler. And he come down to Florida and they talked. And he said, would you just tell me one thing? In that day in 1943, why didn't you blow us out of the sky? And he said, well, I can trace my ancestors back to the Crusades. He said, we always tried to do the right thing. Said the Word of God says to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. And I knew if I was over here in your shoes, flying that B-17 airplane, with no defenses, no way of defending yourself, I would want somebody to show mercy to me. They become great friends. See, if we can learn to get over here in old Joe's shoes and Mary's shoes, we might understand some things. This is what I say to all who listen to me. Now this is Jesus speaking. Love your enemies and be good to everyone who hates you. What's hard to do, isn't it? Ask God to bless anyone who curses you. I pray for everyone who is cruel to you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, don't stop that person from slapping you on the other cheek. If someone wants to take your coat, don't try to keep back your shirt. Give to everyone who asks, and don't ask people to return what they have taken from you. Treat others just as you want to be treated. Boy, it's hard to do, ain't it? It's hard to do. It's hard to get over there in David's shoes when you're so concerned with you walking young. But we need to do that. There was a man named Jack. Now, Jack had tickets to go to see the hottest band in town at the concert. Man, he had waited for a month to go to this concert. And he'd watched that clock tick by all day. And right at quitting time, the boss comes in and said, we got to have a 15-minute meeting before you go home. Well, that 15 minutes turned into 45, and poor old Jack's in a tizzy. He's wanting to go to the concert. He knows he's going to be late. He finally gets out there and he gets in his car and he's flying down the road. He's doing 70 miles an hour and a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. And the blue lights come on. And that cop's sitting there, not giving him a ticket, but giving him a lecture, taking up more of his time. He keeps saying, just give me the ticket, dude. I gotta go. Well, he goes home and he says, I still got time to make it. I got time to make it. He gets in the shower, takes a quick shower, loses his car keys. Oh, he's in a tizzy now. He don't know what he's going to do. Finally finds his car keys and pulling out, going down the road. It's a 2-lane road, double yellow, no piping. And there's a white Buick with one of them purple-haired ladies driving it. And she's going 20 miles an hour. I've got to get to the concert. What's wrong with this stupid woman? thing, gives her the Tennessee salute, that one finger salute, and goes on down the road. Now, if he could just got over there in that poor old woman's shoes for a minute, he'd realize that she just come from the hospital. There'd been an automobile accident. Her husband that she had been married to for 40 years and her only son were killed in an accident. She didn't have nobody to come help her. She was all alone. She's doing the best she can. 20 miles an hour in the old white Buick, full of grief. If we could only learn to put ourselves in that other person's shoes, we might be surprised what we would find. Outside of Jerusalem, there's a little windy road. And it goes down into the town of Jericho. And there's a man walking down this road. He's going to go to Jericho. As he's walking, out behind some rocks, David, comes a bunch of thieves. They beat him unmercifully, steal everything he's got, leave him naked, laying there on the side of the road. In a little while, a priest comes by. A Jewish priest. This guy's Jewish. And he looks over at that lump of flesh laying there and he says, must have been living in sin. Must have been against God. That's what had happened to him. Wasn't living right. I'm going on down the road. I ain't got time to fool with that trash. A little while later, there was a teacher that came by, scribe. And he looked and seen that lump of flesh and he said, getting out of here, dude. Them robbers might still be there. And a little while later, we call it a half-breed come by. Somebody of mixed race. Part Canaanite, part Jew. Somebody we'd consider undesirable. They considered him undesirable. He was Samaritan. Now that Samaritan could have chose to walk around. But he put himself in that wounded person's shoes. He walked over there and got in them shoes. Cleaned his wounds up, loaded him up on his donkey, took him to the inn, got him in the inn and said, here's some money, take care of him. If it costs any more, I'll be back. And I'll pay you what I owe you. He got over there and walked in them shoes, didn't he? He got there and walked in them. There's a story in the New Testament about a father and two sons. Now these two sons work out in the fields. The elder son and the younger son. Now this younger son has got a rebellious streak. He decided he don't want to work in the fields anymore. He don't want to be in his daddy's house where his daddy's telling him, son, you can't go down to the bar and get drunk. Son, don't be going down there where them prostitutes are. Well, he decided he don't care what daddy wants. He's going to do what he wants. He goes and he said, Dad, I want my inheritance. Now his older brother's here. Dad's here. And here the rebellious son is. And his dad says something like this. You need to reconsider. And he said, I'm sick of you, Dad. I'm sick of you, my brother. I'm sick of this farm. Give me my money. And he did. The Bible says he went into a far country. I believe the King James said he spent it on riotous living, didn't he? In other words, he was drinking and running whores. I mean, that's plain talk. That's what he was doing. Spending all his money on women and alcohol. Man, he had all kinds of friends. But when the money ran out, the friends ran out. And it's always that way. So he decides out there watching. He's still looking for his son to come home. And he sees him coming afar off, the Bible says. He runs to him, puts his arms around that stinking young'un that's been wallering in hog slop, that young'un that has been rebellious, that young'un that's cussed him and everything. Puts a ring on his finger, clothes him with a clean robe, and kills an animal for him to eat. Throws a party. You see, that father had walked in them shoes before. But now that elder brother, that's a different story. He hadn't walked in them shoes. He was mad. If we could just learn to get in somebody else's shoes. In the book of Judges, there's a story of a king. Adoniah Bezek, Lord of the city of Bezek. Great king. Mighty, powerful king. And what this king done, I believe it was a Canaanite king, that when he captured another king, he would take that king back to the palace, cut both his thumbs off, cut his big toes off. He was useless. What can you do if you don't have any thumbs? You can't even walk if you got your big toes. And made him sit at the king's table every day, and he would gloat. The next king he went out, he done the same thing until he had 70 kings that he had defeated, sitting under his table with no thumbs, no toes. He sure didn't walk in their shoes, did he? But when Judah come into the land, and his brother, and they took over this king, when they captured Adoniah Bezek, guess what happened? Whack, whack, whack. Because he did not show compassion, he wasn't shown compassion. It will come back to you. Most of the time, double, triple, or 100-fold. Let me talk to you just a minute about Jesus. Jesus and me. You see, from my youth up, starting in my youth, I was full of rebellion. I was the wildest child you ever seen. My mama can tell you. Wasn't nothing I wouldn't do. Teresa, I'd do it all. Full of meanness. Full of the devil. Didn't want to hear anything about God. Started dating Dotton. Her sister tried to witness to me. I said, you can't prove to me there's a God. Oh, I was belligerent. I was bad. But you see, Jesus left his home in glory. He left the presence of the Father. He left the ability to do anything he wanted to do. He came down to this earth. He climbed over there in my shoes, Dave. The Bible says that he went through every temptation that we would ever go through. He went through every trial that I would ever go through. Knew me personally. Knew me personally. So he had compassion on me. He had mercy on me. A few years back, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I had a vision. I dreamed that I was in a courtroom. This wasn't a dream, it was a vision. I seen myself in this courtroom so plainly. And there was a judge that had such steely eyes, they were piercing. And there was a crowd, there was a multitude in this courtroom. And they were all screaming and hollering, guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. He's guilty. He deserves punishment. The judge looked at me. He gave me the death sentence. I was shattered. instantly, from that part of this vision, I was on a hill. And I was coming up the back side of this hill. And I could see the back of 3 crosses. And I thought, this is strange. And there was a vast multitude around them 3 crosses in front. I began to move through the crowd, and that one on that middle cross looked pretty familiar, David. As I got around there, I looked up to that cross and I seen it was me on that cross. It was me. And that crowd was screaming, crucify him, crucify him. And I can't even begin to explain to you the pain, the hurt, the fear. And then he was there. Jesus. He was standing beside me as I was looking up at myself on the cross. And he looked at me, David, and he said this right here. Don't have to be that way. I took your place. I took your place. I died on that cross for you. I walked a mile in your shoes. I sacrificed myself for you. And then there he was on the cross dying for me. Do you realize that he's dying for you too? If you're here this morning and you're not in relationship with him, if things ain't just exactly like that with you and God today, he's speaking to you. The Lamb of Calvary shed his precious blood that you might be saved. I invite you to come this morning. But more important than that, I'm going to ask you to do some things. Next time you see somebody that's not really what you like, we've all got prejudice. Some of us don't like them that's got little rings, little nose. Some of us don't like them that's got bald heads. Some of us don't like them long-haired heathens. Some of us don't like them little kids that walk around with their breeches down here. Some of us don't like them purple-haired old ladies. But we need to get over there and walk a mile in their shoes, understand where they're coming from, try to get your heart where their heart's at, and we'll see them differently. If we could only learn to do it, guys, God would.
There's so many cold, lonely souls out on the street tonight. Where's the light? Where's the light? And that lonely prisoner in his cell would toss and turn all night. Where's the light? Where's the light? I've been sitting here in my easy chair. Could what I just heard be right? I'm the light. I'm the light. So I'll get up and go and let my actions show that Jesus in me makes things right. I'm the light. Ooh, I'm the light. To that boy and girl with no mom and dad, a little hug would make things right. But where's the light? Where's the light? Where's the light? Where's the light? Oh, I've been sitting here in my easy chair. Could what I just heard be right? I'm the light. I'm the light. So I'll get up and go and let my actions show that Jesus in me makes things right. I'm the light. Ooh, I'm the light. Nobody around us to be that light. I remember when Steve was a young teenage boy, he was that rebellious person. He was almost despisable, he really was. But then one day, Michael Harm was the light to Steve.
That's right.
And led him to the Lord. And I'm telling you, it's all the difference between dark and light.
Now, Uncle Harm was not your three-piece suit with I love Jesus flashing up here. That wasn't what it was. Didn't have a Bible on a lapel pin. I doubt if he had a lapel pin or a lapel to put it on. He was a construction worker. Rough, raw boned, about as rough as you could come. You see, Uncle Harm had already walked the road that I was walking. He had already been through all that junk that I thought was cool. So he reached over, instead of hating me and despising me like I wanted everybody to do, he reached out and he loved me, Teresa. But more important than that, he told me about Jesus.
Amen.
Introduced me to him. Made sure I was in relationship with him. And my life changed. If you're here this morning and you're not in relationship with him, I beg you, try it. I guarantee your life will never be the same.